Well, Tuesday, the 27th of September. Let's get you started. I am Bosu Namafai. The Nigerian market started on a positive note, roughly 0.4% on Monday. That takes off the final trading week in the month of September. Effectively Friday, we're also done with the third quarter of the year. The banking sector gained 0.6%. That lifted the entire market to the upside. There are a few other gains on the day, by the way. JITCO shares went up more than 1.5%. Then you've got the BRVM, the composite in Cote d'Ivoire, down by 0.4%. The Egyptian market for the day, Monday, 0.68% in the red. You've got a bit of a sell-off also on the Nairobi Bourse. Safaricom shares down more than 1% yesterday, accounting for about $1.2 million of the total 4 million turnover on the biggest exchange east of the continent. And the South African market better by 0.33%, reading 63,626. That's when the market closed. Let's get into the big news today. The Central Bank of Kenya under Njoroge will be deciding interest rates. Mauritius is also expected to decide on interest rates. That will be tomorrow on the Indian Ocean. Kenya's deal with the U.S. could hurt regional trade. That's because Kenya is pursuing a strong economic bilateral trade relations with the United States. And that's not taking the rest of the East African community along. So Uganda, Tanzania, and a few other countries are a little bit unhappy with the authorities in Nairobi. In the meantime, the East African oil and gas pipeline, spearheaded by Uganda and Tanzania, will be positive for the region. That's according to Standard Bank, one of the largest banks on the east part of the continent and, of course, on the African continent, as it were. The Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange equities fell just about 320 billion shillings because of headwinds in the past few days. The West African economic and headline news is what I'm talking about next, with Nigeria's central bank today deciding on interest rates about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That is going to be, the briefing will be done by Godwin Emefiele, the governor of the central bank. That's one big item on the Nigeria's watching out today. The consensus by economists is that the central bank will raise interest rates at least by a minimum of 50 basis points. Across the West Africa as well, the IMF team in Ghana have put their boots on the ground, and they're already speaking with the authorities of Nana Akufo-Addo and a number of government agencies on that $3 billion loan that Ghana is looking to secure. So the Bank of Ghana's interest rate meeting has been rescheduled until the 7th of October. Vendiase says it's expanding its footprints in Nigeria and Ghana and a few other African countries, supporting procurement and business operations of restaurants and hotels across the African continent. The company says it just got $30 million in funding. And regulators within the ECOWAS regional meeting in Ghana from the 26th, which was yesterday, till tomorrow, Wednesday, to discuss the regional electricity markets under the West African Power Pool, the WAPP. And the Ghana Chamber of Mines says it's going to sell roughly 125,000 ounces of gold to the central bank by the end of December. That will be part of the Bank of Ghana's plan to buy gold from miners in local currency before they sell the rest to the global markets in US dollars and any other currencies of such. So that's the latest from the Chamber of Mines. Ghana is one of Africa's largest gold producing economies. Let's move it quickly to the Southern Africa space. President Ramaphosa is talking about Eskom, which is extending the daily power cuts 3,000 megawatts till Thursday. Ramaphosa says resolving the energy crisis in South Africa will be a very tough one, but progress is being made. The rate decisions by Angola was yesterday. Lesotho in Southern Africa will be deciding on interest rate. The central bank, that decision will come out later today. And cryptos are becoming king for African banks and companies because there is a shortage of dollar liquidity shortage on the African continent, from central banks to companies who are looking to do payments. So they're turning to stable coins and other forms of cryptos to get those things done. let's check with the folks in North Africa for the day with 9-member board of the EBRD, that's the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. They starting their visit to Tunisia today, September the 27th, to discuss with the government and the business community and what further support the EBRD can lend to President Said's administration. Morocco's central bank will be deciding, the Bank Al Maghrib will be deciding on interest rates today, just as Nigeria's central bank. An investment volume in startups in Egypt dips to about $450 million so far in 2022 between January and the month of August, while Egypt is looking to raise about $6 billion via the sale of state-owned companies. That's under President Al-Sisi's program before the middle of next year. It was a program that's been outlined. Now there's a figure to what the government in Cairo expects to bring on board from the sale of those state-owned enterprises. And finally, the enclave of trade between Morocco and Spain will be reopening by the year 2023, part of broadening the European trade deal between Morocco, one of the biggest economies north of the continent, with Europe. And of course, Spain is one of its closest neighbors north of the continent. That is your Tuesday. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.